Alright, I will be presenting on reactive attachments disorder. My client's name is Katrina Gertz. That's Katrina Gertz. My client is 4 years of age. My name is Dr. Matt Aita. That's Mattaita. The differential diagnosis that we came to a conclusion on was reactive attachments disorder. This is the only differential diagnosis because it met all the criterion. There are two primary diagnostic features for reactive attachments disorder. The first one exhibits difficulty in relating to others and forming emotional bonds with others. Once again, that's exhibits difficulty in relating to others and forming emotional bonds with others. The second, this difficulty manifests in social avoiding interactions or reacts negatively when forced into social interactions. One more time. This difficulty manifests in social avoidance interactions or reacts negatively when forced into social interactions. Alright, on to the story of Katrina. Really sad one. So as I stated before, Katrina is 4 years of age. She'd been shuttled from foster home to foster home. We find out that her parents are heroin addicts, and they obviously could not take care of her. So Katrina's paternal grandparents took care of her for a little bit, at least. They were less than stellar caregivers, to say the least. They would let her sit in dirty diapers for hours at a time. Sometimes Katrina was only fed once a day. When her crying got on their nerves, she would be placed in a dark pantry in the back of the house for hours at a time. So obviously she's not getting the love and nurturing that she needs. She's being treated terribly. There comes to a point when even they decide that she's probably better off in a foster home. So they take her to this foster home, and really this foster home is better as far as health-wise, but not getting the nurturing and loving that little kid needs. Eventually, when Katrina turns 3 years old, the maternal grandparents return to the United States and decide that they want to take care of her. And they decide that they want to show her the love and nurturing that she has always deserved. They're kind of anxious about this because they're not sure how she's going to react to it. When Katrina and the grandparents meet for the first time, the grandparents try to give her a hug. She shies away, refuses to make eye contacts. When asked questions, Katrina was non-responsive. This kind of made the grandparents upset a little bit, but they thought it was a phase and that it would pass. It didn't. A year passes, things don't really get that much better. She spends most of the time in her room. She plays by herself. She refuses to play with anyone else. Many times the grandparents actually tried to arrange for a play date for Katrina, but when the play date arrived, she would ignore them. And if the playdate tried to engage in interaction and try to play with Katrina, she would lash out, brutally screaming and yelling, throwing a temper tantrum until the playdate left. The grandparents say that the only time they really see emotion in Katrina was when she was irritable and angry, and when she was asked questions, she would rarely respond. And when she did, it was in short phrases. So finally, they see a social worker. On examination, Katrina is found to have mild language delays and marked problems in social interaction. She tended to avoid interaction, or when it could not be avoided, she would become very angry, and lash out. So that's Katrina's story. Really sad stuff. On to the multi-axial diagnosis. For the first axis, we have reactive attachment disorder. The second axis, we have none. Third, we have none. Fourth, we have negligent parenting. Once again, that is negligent parenting, and we scored her at a 60. So, onto the theoretical perspectives. We have three. The first one is the family perspective. The lack of family structure that the client experiences is extremely detrimental to social development. The structural approach offers the best explanation to this disorder. Because of this lack of support from the family, Katrina has trust issues with any form of authority and does not take nurturing and support the way that a normal child should. Once again, the lack of family structure that the client experiences is extremely detrimental to social development. The structural approach offers the best explanation to this disorder. Because of this lack of support from family, Katrina has trust issues with any form of authority and does not take nurturing and support the way a normal child should. The second, we have the socio-cultural perspective. Due to the fact that the client was not raised in a nourishing home and was forced to move from foster care to foster care, the client has never had a lasting relationship, which is vital to social skills. Due to these circumstances, the client suffers socially. The last theoretical perspective we have is the behavioral perspective. The client has learned through apparent conditioning, is negatively reinforced that people usually do not care about them. The client has learned to distrust people, so when they are thrown into a situation and someone gives them attention, she immediately avoids the situation. Once again, the client has learned through operant conditioning, negative reinforcement, that people usually do not care about them. The client has learned to distrust people, so when they are thrown into a situation, when someone gives them attention, she shuts down and avoids the situation completely. All right, and that'll do it. Have a good rest of your week.